Hi guys, welcome to another video. I know my background is different than normal. It's just so nice outside, so I figured I might as well just film outside. But of course, there's planes all over the place today, so I really hope that that's not too distracting and that this microphone is gonna help out make it so you can actually hear me. Anyway, today I am talking about how to use a safety razor. I'm going to go over the whole process of setting it up, putting the razor together, and also just how to actually use it. And then of course also why you should switch over to a safety razor and toss those conventional razors. So before I go ahead and get into the video, I just want to say if you are new here, my name is Danny. I create content about clean beauty and conscious living. Also do some sustainable and ethical fashion content. I am planning on doing more of that. But anyway, if that stuff interests you, I would absolutely love to have you. It would mean so much if you would go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to be notified when I post new videos, just make sure that you hit that notification bell. All right, you guys, let's just go ahead and get right to the video. So to set up the razor or just change the razor blades, with dry hands, you're going to unscrew the razor handle counterclockwise. Then very carefully you want to unwrap one of the razor blades and you're going to put that on the razor head. But you just want to be very careful when doing this. Don't touch the sides of the razor, of course, because that is where the blade is. So be very careful when putting this onto the razor head. So then you're going to put the other side of the razor head back on, and then you're just going to put the handle back on and screw it on clockwise. Alright, so now I just want to show you a little demo of how to actually use a safety razor. So I know this is a little awkward. I'm actually filming outside on my front porch because I do not have a pretty bathroom to film this in. So I know it's a little weird that I'm doing this outside, but this is what I have to work with. So you just want to dampen your skin first a little bit with some water, and you want to prep with either shaving oil or soap. I really like this one from Lisse. It's such a nice oil. It smells so good too. But when you're shaving, you just want to hold the razor at a 30-degree angle. And one of the main things to keep in mind when you're shaving with a safety razor, especially when you first start using it, is that you don't want to apply too much pressure. Just let the weight of the razor really glide over your skin. You don't need to put a lot of pressure, especially on those bony parts, so the areas on your legs that are a little bit more bony. Just make sure that you use very light pressure. Honestly, you basically don't need to put pressure at all. Literally, like I said before, you just kind of use the weight of the razor to shave, if that makes sense. And you can just kind of build up the pressure over time as you get used to it. Alright, so now let's talk about why you should consider switching to a safety razor and just getting rid of those conventional razors. So there are a variety of reasons. I have a little list here, so if I'm looking down, that's why I'm just reminding myself. So the first reason that I want to mention is that it is better for both the environment and yourself, and that is because there is less waste and less toxins. So I'm going to explain that a little bit more. So obviously, just imagine the amount of conventional razors, those disposable conventional razors that you purchase that has like a pack of like 12 or something like that. Just imagine how many you go through, because you really only use a razor like that, one of those disposable razors, like I feel like maybe even just 3 times, and then it starts to kind of it causes irritation, and the razor just is like dull, so it's not good. So then you just toss it. So obviously it doesn't last long at all, and you just end up going through so many of those. But with a safety razor, you literally just have to repurchase the blades, and the actual razor itself should last you a very long time. As long as you take care of it and make sure you don't store it wet, it should last you a very long time. Just because if you store it wet, it could start to rust. But other than that, like, the actual razor itself should last a very long time. So that means that you only have to repurchase the blades. So therefore, you're not making as much waste. So that is much better for the environment. Also, less toxins. So a lot of conventional razors, you know how they come with a little bit of a soap or a type of lubricant on it to kind of help with the shaving. Those can contain harsh chemicals and just not so nice ingredients. Those have just who knows what ingredients. That's also the thing, is you don't know what it's made out of, and they just have chemicals and ingredients that are not good for you. So that's another reason that it's great to consider switching to a safety razor. So then the next thing is that it saves money. So even though the initial cost of the actual razor is more expensive than a regular conventional razor is, you know, like I said before, you're not repurchasing the actual razor often. That should last you a very long time. All you have to do is repurchase the blades. Also, there's kind of a misconception that safety razors are scary and that it's just super easy to cut yourself, when in reality that's not the case. Especially in my experience, that's not the case at all. And I will say I was a little hesitant when I first started using it, and I feel like that's because of those misconceptions, that you just think it's kind of scary, and also just because it's something different and you're just trying something new when you're so used to the regular conventional razors. But that was not my experience at all. Like Amy says, she is the founder of Lisse Shave, and she says that she thinks that companies kind of want you to think those things, and that's because if you buy a safety razor, it's gonna make them lose money, because it's much more affordable for the consumer to buy a safety razor than just keep repurchasing those conventional razors. So that's kind of something that I think companies do kind of want you to think. So I very much agree with what Amy says. And another thing is that it gives a better shave. So I can very well say it gives a better shave. It gives a much closer shave. I don't think I've ever had a shave as good as when I use the safety razor. The first time I used it, I was like, whoa, I didn't even know it was this possible to get this good of a shave. It's just a game changer. It makes such a difference. It just gives you the softest skin. It just gives a really, really nice shave. Also, I find that it causes a lot less irritation, and you can just use it along with an oil or a shaving cream like you normally would, or just soap. And the Lisse Shave oil that she has is really great. I really like that. It's beautiful, it smells amazing, and it leaves your skin really nice and soft and moisturized. And then the last reason that I want to say is that it helps to support small businesses, because a lot of people buy conventional razors, feel like there aren't as many people buying safety razors. So when you buy a safety razor, it can help to support small businesses. If you are interested in purchasing or trying a safety razor, I do very highly recommend this one from Lisse Shave. It's seriously so nice. Also, it's gorgeous. Not only does it work well, it's just beautiful and it feels luxurious. It has this really nice weight to it, and it's a really, really nice razor, a very high quality razor, and it's just gonna last so long, and it's just great. So I very highly do recommend this brand. I will have their website linked in the description box below. So now let's move on to my experience with it. Now I feel like I've already just kind of been telling you my experience with it while I've been telling you this other stuff, but overall I just really like it. It gives a really nice close shave. It's just a really high quality razor, and seriously, it's not hard to use. Like, there's that misconception that they're difficult to use and that it's going to be easy to cut yourself. It's not really easy to cut yourself, unless you're being like silly with it and not being careful at all, if that makes sense. Alright, sorry about that. I had to switch locations. It was getting too hot outside. So as I was saying, it's super easy to use. I feel like with any razor, you can cut yourself with any razor. I don't find it more easy to cut yourself. If I don't want you to not try it because you're worried about cutting yourself, because I've literally only the first time I use it is the only time that I've cut myself with it, and it was just a very small cut, and it was like around the knee area. Just takes a little bit of practice, but I don't think that it's really easy to cut yourself. Just be careful when you're doing it, and just use light pressure when you first start using it, and then you can just add more pressure when you get more used to it. But in general, you don't need to add much pressure even when you get used to using it. So overall, I've had a great experience with it, and I definitely recommend that you give a safety razor a try for all those reasons that I mentioned before. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. And if you guys want to see more content from me in the future, I would absolutely love it if you would go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you guys have any questions, definitely let me know in the comment section below. But thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye guys.